Hello everyone, welcome to valuetrainings.com. So now let's start with the American Golf example to print the sum of all the numbers. That is, I go to americangolf.co.uk website. Out here, I go to this golf clubs menu. And over here, say suppose I click on this drivers link, and then what we have to do is we have to print the sum of all these numbers that are listed over here under the brand section. So how will you do this? Let's see that right now. Alright, so I open up my Visual Studio. Herein I have created the Selenium WebDriver example project, and then I have included my Selenium DLLs, and then just try to open my Firefox browser. Okay, and then I'll navigate to my URL, that is driver.url. is say I want to navigate to this particular URL. Okay, now before actually starting with this script, I assume you know how to extract multiple components on the web page. Okay, that is, let's see that. So I want to extract all these elements on this web page. So if I inspect this first element, it says that this first element has got this particular XPath for it. Alright, similarly if I inspect the second element, so second element has got this XPath. And the third element has got this XPath for it, which I just write over here. Now if I carefully look into the XPath of all these three elements, I can say that I can find only the index of this li tag is changing. The rest, the complete XPath is same for all the three elements. Only the index of this li tag is changing. Right, so I can simply try to find my element with the XPath, that is, you say driver dot find all the elements by the XPath. What would be the XPath? Your XPath would be this. Right, that is, I'll just show you. And if I do an evaluation, you see that it gives us all the elements which we actually want in our case. It extracts all these elements. So I can just remove my index of the li tag. That is, I don't want any particular index of the li tag. I want to extract all these numbers. Right. So I have extracted my elements, and then this will give us a list of web element. Say we have brand numbers. Okay, and then I'll just print how many numbers are there. That is brand numbers dot count. Okay, and I'll just print the result as well, console dot read key. All right, and I'll just run my code. Okay, so it says that the total number of numbers that we can see on this particular web page is they are 10. Right, so now what we have to do is we have to print the sum of all these numbers. So firstly we have to sum all these numbers, then print the result as well. Alright, now before actually printing the sum, let me just print the text of all these numbers. So I'll write a for loop for int I is equal to 0, I less than the total number of numbers you have, brand numbers dot count, and I plus plus. Okay, and say I print the text of all these numbers, that is brand numbers dot text, and I print them. Okay, and I'll just run my code. So it opens up the Firefox browser, and then we can see that it prints the text of all the numbers that we can actually see on this web page. It prints exactly the text of all these numbers. Now next what we have to do, we have to sum all these numbers that are enclosed within the bracket. Now the next thing, if you carefully look into the output, you can see that we are getting the result, we are getting these numbers within the brackets. These numbers are actually enclosed within the brackets, right? So while performing the sum of all these numbers, we don't want the brackets, we just want the digits among the brackets, right? So how will you now extract the numbers out of these brackets? So let's see that. That is, in order to remove the brackets, what we will do is we will fire a function known as the substring function. That is, hold on, that is, from this text I want to extract only the digits. I don't want to extract the brackets as well, right? So I have a function, substring function. Substring function says that it retrieves the text out of the given character, right? So we have text dot substring. Substring function, it extracts, it retrieves the substring out of the given text. Alright, and inside this we have to pass the starting index. Now what is the starting index? Now if I look into my browser, out here this is my first element, okay, that is 19 within the brackets. Now the length of this element is 4, that is 2 for the round brackets and 2 for the digits. Okay, and first round bracket, this round bracket opening is at the 0th index, then 1 is at the 1 index, 9 is at the 2 index, and round bracket closing is at the 3rd index. Alright, so what we want only this number, that is 19. So 19 is starting from the first index. So similarly I passed my starting index as 1, and then the next parameter is the length, that is what length of characters you want to extract. That is, I want only 2 characters, and then that has to be starting from the static index 1. Okay, so after the starting index I want only the 2 characters only. So that is, so for that I give my value as 2. Okay, and I'll store it in this variable, and let me just print the result, and then we'll see the output. So I'll execute it. Alright, so you see that it prints the characters. Now it prints the digits. Alright, so for the first element, like the first element is 19 within the brackets. After applying the substring function, we are getting the digits only. The brackets have been removed. Alright, and then similarly for the second digit as well, we have only the number, that is 10. No brackets enclosed within the text. Alright, and then for the third element, now third element is actually a single digit number, that is 9. So in the output, after applying the substring function, in the result we are also getting the round bracket closing as well. Now why it is so? It is because the length of this text, this third text, is actually 4. 2 for the round brackets and only 1 for the single digit. And then you are saying that you have to extract, like you have to extract the element which is starting at the first index. Okay, this is starting at the first index, and then you are saying that retrieve the elements, retrieve 2 elements after that. So for that it has included the round bracket closing as well. So we don't want this, right? So according to the length of your elements, So for the 2-digit number, the length is 4, and for the single digit number, the length of this element is actually 3. Right? So based on the length of the text, we will fire the substring function. So I say that if the length of the text, if it equals 4, then simply extract the data starting at the first and retrieve two elements, two characters after that, right? Else if the length of the text is equal to 3, else if it equals 3, then extract us the data text.substring, which is starting at the first index, and what would be the length? We only want 1-digit number only. We just want the number, right? So the length is also 1 in this case. Fine. So now if I execute it once again, so now you see that. So now we are getting the correct result. That is, in the single digit number also we are only getting the digits. We are not getting the brackets now. Right? So we are doing perfectly fine with our code. Now next what we have to do, we have to sum all these numbers. Right? So I can simply sum all these numbers. That is, and then one more thing. Like this text variable, that is this t variable, is of the type string, in which we are actually getting our result, right? And then while performing the sum, while printing the sum of the numbers, I will have to convert this t variable, which is of the type string, into an integer variable, right? So I'll just convert that. So for that I have convert dot to int 32, and then what you have to convert, you have to convert the t variable in which you are getting your result. Okay, and then I'll have the sum variable with me, and then I'll simply sum these numbers. Okay, and we'll print the result as well. Alright, I'll run it once again. Alright, so now you see that it says that the sum of all these numbers is 55.